Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Pink King here. That's my actual in-game name if you guys haven't figured that out by now. So today I got two replays for you. Earning marks of excellence. That's what this video is going to be about. They're something that is not implemented into Blitz. For you Blitz players, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard about it. If you don't know about it, I'm going to briefly explain it here. So you can get up to 3 different marks of excellence. Obviously you earn 1, 2, and then 3. The more you have, the better you are, to say the least. As far as like knowledge of the tank and pretty much just knowledge of the tank really. But basically, if the way it works is that your average damage is everything when it comes to earning the marks. This includes assistance damage as well, and for artillery it includes stun damage or stun assistance as well. So if you're not in an artillery and you shoot someone and you stun them and someone shoots them after, that also counts as that's artillery assistance basically. However, if you get normal assistance, then they don't combine. It's whatever one is bigger. But anyway, so your average damage has to be higher than 65% of players for the previous 100 battles and 2 weeks. If you haven't played the tank in 2 weeks, then the 100 battles count. If it is 2 weeks, or if it is including 2 weeks, it's always going to be 100 battles, the previous 100 battles of what your average damage is. 2 marks is 85%, which is hard to get, and then obviously 3 marks is 95%. So 3 mark players have the best knowledge of the vehicle, generally. I'm double marked in this T95. This is actually the gameplay when I double mark it, and it was a pain in the butt trying to do it. I mean, the teams were awful. I probably took 200 to 300 battles seriously trying to actually get this marked. I'm not gonna go for 3 marks. It was too dang painful to just to get 2 marks. So, but for the most part, I figured out how to play the tank, even though I'm double marked. So a lot of double marked players still don't know how to play the tank exactly perfectly, which is fine. You're always gonna be learning things no matter what. And I feel that the 95 was kind of it was fun to play too. For now, I just play it for fun now. Kind of like I was here, I was just playing it for fun. And I was surprised to see that I'm like, finally, this is going to be the battle. I don't ace it, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, I'm satisfied with the double mark that I do get. And yeah, my platoon mates are trying to help me, if they're not trying to take too many shots. If necessary, they're trying to let me get the shots in if I can. And that's how you really have to do it. Marking things is probably the most painful thing in World of Tanks to do, according to a few pro players, and I can definitely say that is true. Just from doing this tank. So I did double mark another tank not too long after that. I will do a video on that later, probably in a separate video. But my next video is probably going to be about actually an artillery. Really, I have never done an artillery on the channel, so I figured I probably would do one. But yeah, I've really started appreciating this map. It's not the greatest map, but it is pretty good for most tank types. For slow tanks, it's kind of a little bit hard to play. Like over here, like if you get out in the open like that and you get caught by the mediums, you're pretty much screwed. So yeah, Redshire, I'd say it's a decent map. And I've kind of learned, when not to poke and stuff like that. You really have to keep an eye on the mini map. And my main goal right now is to try to bounce shots if I have to take shots, or if I can completely avoid it at all, I will completely avoid it. So yeah, I was going to take a shot there, but I figured it probably wasn't going to hit, or it wasn't going to pen. And sometimes I do get a little bit greedy and take those unnecessary shots. Sometimes they do work, but I found that if I aim it, it works better generally. And that was a lovely shot there as well. But yeah, marking tanks, you have to boost the tank fully. As you can see here, I'm spamming Premo. That way I don't have to worry about penning. I believe the gold pen on this is around 320 millimeters of pen, I believe. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, you want to load full gold. Unless if you're in tier 10, like, that has really high penetration, then you don't really have to worry about it too much. But I would recommend loading full gold when doing it. Also, make sure that you have really good equipment as well. Like, if you were to have a normal setup, maybe kind of change your equipment around a little bit, see if you can bring up that DPM, bring up your maneuverability, because that is going to help. One thing that's interesting too specifically about the T95 is that marking tanks in general, you have to be able to chase damage, and the one thing that this tank can't do is chase damage very easily. You kind of have to hope and let the situation happen to where you're gonna have a bunch of morons sitting in front of you and not moving. So that's probably the only reason I've actually been able to do this. And this battle was very demonstrated this very well. And this is kind of the map for it too. I mean, like, heavy tanks, they really can't get too far away without being shot from the mediums in the middle, or the lights, and that, I guess that's kind of nice, specifically for this tank. And yeah, also, as far as, like, setting up your tanks, specifically in general actually, you want to load full gold. You want to try to reconfigure your equipment a little bit, see if you can bring up that speed and DPM, like I said earlier. But also, you want to make sure that you have crew skills, and you want you want to use your consumables wisely as well. Like here, I used to have 2 repair kits, but because on my crew I put repair speeds, and I also have part of the equipment is I have improved configuration, which means that it pretty much just makes all my repair speed faster. And with those crew skills combined, I only have a 5-second repair time on my tracks in this tank, so I was able to take off my second repair kit and put on food, and that food is kind of like vents, but basically what vents does is it adds 10% perks to all crews and skills, and that's the exact same thing what food does. So I'm getting a 20% bonus in total to that, which is really nice. That's also another thing. So maximizing your tank to its full capabilities of chasing damage and just in general, maneuverability is huge. Maneuverability isn't everything, but I don't know if you guys remember a while back ago when I got 9 kills in this tank and lost the game because I simply wasn't fast enough to reset the cap. So for the most part, yes, speed is everything, but you know, it also depends on how wisely you play the tank and your positioning. That's all huge when marking tanks. And I found that for this tank, positioning, you want to try to be flat. That way, there's an even flow. That way, it's less easier for them to be able to hit your cupolas or your lower plate. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you do have to take risks. And, yeah, sometimes you have to take those shots sometimes. And just be smart about what you do. And that's pretty much how I've done it. And just thought about my positioning, be like, okay, if I poke here, what's gonna shoot me, kind of thing. And or what if I move back here, is he gonna be tempted to pull out? You know, all those count. But yeah, I was very pleased with this battle. I finally did it. I don't plan on 3-marking this. If it happens, it happens, like I said. But anyway, on to the next battle. So, like I said, the EBR, when I did the EBR 105 play on highway, this tank is kind of similar, but it's a lot more passive, and that's what I like about this thing, is that it's kind of similar play style, which is probably why I do okay in it. As you see, I haven't marked it yet, but again, this is the same battle that I do get 1 mark of excellence in it. And apparently this is a pretty hard tank to mark. It's 2.2k average for 1 mark. For 65%, and then I don't know what the rest is. I believe it's 4K for 3 marks. I could be wrong about that though. But this does end up being a really good game, and I was really pleased with this. If I hadn't made the mistake I should have, at the end, I'll kind of explain what I did wrong, that I know I did wrong, and that definitely cost me the ace and the win, because this is a draw, spoiler alert. This is probably definitely one of the most intense games I've ever had in this tank, and I think for the most part I made the correct decisions other than at the end, you know, and maybe I poke my nose out a little bit too much at certain times, but other than that, I feel like I made the correct decisions. So, a friend told me that the best way to play this tank is to be semi-aggressive to passive in the beginning, and then towards the end I can just move around constantly and try to stay as far away from the enemy as possible. That way they can't spot me, but in a way that I'm able to spot them as well. So currently on this tank I have roughly 43% concealment stationary and roughly 36% on the move, with those crew skills again. And also with low noise exhaust, which also helps boost it. So yeah, I've set this tank up to be pretty much a passive scout. I do have coated optics in this as well, which does help. It's worth it, having the coated optics. Unlike the T95, I don't really need that view range. My view range in the 95 was good though, for not having optics. I believe it was like 410 or something like that, and it really wasn't a huge deal to me. But in a tank like this, I think without it was only like 410, something like that, and I felt like it was necessary. I did have enhanced gun laying drive on it, which increases my aiming speed, but at the end of the day I felt like, well, I have to take long times to aim at far distances anyway. What's the point of me having it? And I decided optics would probably be better, especially in kind of situations like this. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm just trying to snipe people, clipping them out, playing mid to kind of far range, and yeah, just being aggressive. That's one thing this tank is very good at, is being aggressive. I actually did buy this 3D style for this tank not too long ago. Excuse me, and it was worth it. I like it. I don't know if it has any special like bonuses to concealment or anything, but I just liked it because of the looks. And another thing too is that, like with V-stabs, I don't know, I really didn't feel a huge difference in the accuracy. It definitely made it like not like fall so much, if it makes sense, like where it goes straight in and then it just falls, the shell falls. But like I said, the equipment that I have seems to work best for now. I don't know if there's other options out there, but that's just what I have for this tank. And yeah, it's a good tank. It's really good. It's pretty OP, in my opinion. I think it's definitely above average. I think it's definitely closer to the OP side, but I don't think it's completely broken. I think it's, for how OP it is, it feels balanced to me, because it doesn't have very much hit points. It doesn't have any armor, and it has terrible hull traverse. Its turret's really fast though. Like the turret traverse is really nice. Actually, I can look real quick, and yeah, for my equipment in this tank, I do have improved rotation mechanism, and then like I said earlier, I have optics and low noise exhaust. So I think that the improved rotation mechanism helps with it definitely makes the turret a little bit faster, even though it's already fast, but it also helps the hold. One thing I've learned too is that if I have to act like a scout, what I'll do is I'll drive forward, and at the last second I'll hold spacebar and the turn key, and I'll actually drift into a 180 degree within like a second, and I'm able to move faster out of the bush if I have to, after, you know, if I do get spotted, which is nice, rather than having to back up normally, because I don't know about you guys, but to me it feels like the Bourrasque specifically backs up a little bit slower than it should. I know it does have to like gain that traction and gain the speed, but to me it just feels a little slow reversed. So I don't know if replacing IRM with a turbo would be better, or, like I said, there's all kinds of options that people use, and there's no specific option. And that's one thing that Crew 2.0 brought, was just different options to kind of suit your playstyle a little bit better. But like I said, for now, the equipment setup that I have for it works for me. like I said, I don't know if there probably is a better setup somewhere. But yeah, my main focus was trying to learn how to play the tank, and for the most part, it kind of rings to me. I just have to know. The thing I'm struggling with the most is that having to know when to relocate and knowing positions is probably the biggest thing. That's probably what I need to work on the most, and that's something that I'm trying. So, this probably would have been a win if our 122 medium wasn't AFK. Or 122 TM, I'm sorry. It is a medium though. And like I said at the end here, basically what happens is, you know, there's 2 TDs there in the south and a few other guys down there as well. I can't really see it from here. It's too small, but it just, I don't know, if instead of going in the middle where I should have gone back around the second time and gone after the Rainbow that's left and finished him off. But at the very end, when I'm down in the center, he's looking right at me and he's just showing us a little bit of his turret. And with a few seconds left on the clock, I mess up so bad, and it just made me so mad. I mean, I could have, if I had hit that shot, I probably would have aced it. I'm not going to spoil the entire thing, but it is getting close to that time here. But like I said, when I missed that shot, it's just it went right above him. It looked like it gave him a buzz cut or something. And yeah, like I said, as you can see here, I've been doing a lot of that drifting, and that helps. Like I said, it really does help. Just doing simple things like that, I've noticed, especially in this tank, has really helped me play kind of better. I try to do it as much as possible because if I have to move, I'm able to move a little bit better, and it could potentially it has saved my life in the past. So I'm still trying to spot those guys. So I'm just trying to go in the center here. I don't want to go in the one line yet because I want to see if I can spot them from here and take them out from here. That way I at least have cover. Because if I go out to where our cap is and I try to go to the right flank, they may be in those bushes, and I may not see them until it's too late. So I always try to play it safe generally. And except for there, I stood there because I wanted to get that shot on. I needed to get it, which was vital. Unfortunately, I think I did miss the first one, but I think I did hit the second one. And yeah, I was just, it made me so frustrated. And currently, yeah, let's see. So like I was saying earlier, my skills have gone up since then as far as like the concealment crew skill. Currently, stationary is 45% and is 36% on the move. And the skill itself is 89% done. And my commander, she has it fully trained already. But my other 2 guys remaining, yeah, this is only a 3-man crewed tank. Which is probably why the gun handling isn't the greatest. But, once I get it to 100%, I could probably bring up the stationary up to probably 47, 48, and then probably the moving up to 40 is my hopes for this tank. Like, its concealment is insane for a medium tank, and that's what makes it partly OP. And also the burst damage, like you guys have seen me clip people just in the side, it is insane. 2 seconds I can do up to, let me think, 720 damage average, because I think it's 360 for one shot, I believe, is average. And yeah, I love this tank. It's so much fun to play, and I'm not a master at it yet by any means, and I'm definitely going to be practicing it more and more, trying to figure out those positions. And really, it's kind of hard for me to figure out those positions just because it takes a while, but I think that, I've asked people, where would you go in this situation and why would you go there? That's usually what I try asking people when I ask for tips as far as relocating and stuff like that in this tank specifically. Kind of similar to the EBR, like I said, it is fairly similar. So that kind of helped me play this tank. Although one thing I do like to mention is that at first, I kind of learned the Bourrasque a little bit, and then I went mainly to the EBR to try to learn the EBR. when I came back to the Bourrasque, it was so much harder because I was used to the EBR's maneuverability and its better gun handling that I got pretty impatient in the Bourrasque, and that kind of affected my gameplay at first. But then once I got back into the tank and I readjusted to it, it seemed to work better. And yeah, it's tricky. You know, it was really, really tricky. And I learned that I probably should just learn one tank at a time, maybe two, but for two tanks that are similar but have to be played a bit different, like the Bourrasque and the EBR 105, I feel that I probably should just do one at a time first, and then rather than switching back and forth between the two. That way, you know, I avoid myself confusion, and I avoid myself just, I don't know, just overwhelmness, I guess. But yeah, here, like that, ugh, I took that shot. I thought that the Rheinmetall was going to come back down this way, which is why I ran, but apparently he didn't. He probably thought I was going to come to him. So I think that probably going back to the 1 line would have been better than the 0 line because, well, actually, now that I think about it, maybe going down the 9 line and 0 line wouldn't be so bad, you know, if once it's just the Rheinmetall left, because then I could get to their base and it would be a little bit harder for him to spot me, I would think, than if me going directly in front of his gun. So now that I think about it, I think that actually would have been a better decision. But like I said, I do go back in the kind of in the middle, not in the where all the hills and stuff are, but kind of on the far right side, down in the where the ground is, and it didn't make it very good. So my leg is bleeding pretty bad here, guys, so I'm sorry if I'm just stuttering and stuff, and I've got a really bad headache. I'm gonna have to get that looked at, but anyway, let me know what you guys think of this tank. Do you think it's OP? Do you think it's balanced? Do you think it's hard to play? I think it's kind of difficult to play. You just have to, I think, personally for me, I just have to get used to it and have to, you know, learn those positions. But other than that, I think it's a okay tank to play. I'm not great in it by any means. You know, I'm not the pro player, but I do feel like it is a tank that I like. I enjoy playing it, and I can play it, you know, when I have to and when I want to. I do think that they're gonna add this tank in Blitz. From what I've heard, they're supposed to add it, so I'm kind of interested to see how it works out in there. But yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna sit here and wait, and then I decided, you know what, the time is running out. I have to do something. And yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go on the rich side here of the hill. I decide, okay, I'm like, well, I kind of want to go center, but we have a guy there in center. I'm like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. So I decide, you know what, I'm gonna try this side. But like I said, I think at this time of the battle, I should have gone down the 9-0 line and should have gotten the Rheinmetall that way. But I was a one-shot, then that's why I was terrified of it. Was because it's just like, whoa, wait a minute. Also on this map too, I want to mention something. Oh, just look at this, guys. Just look at this. Oh, he's so close. Oh, man, if that shot would have hit. And at this point, I'm like, well, I'm not going to be fast enough to get up there in 10 seconds, so what's the whole stinking point of me, you know, doing that? And I was really hoping he was going to try to, you know, poke again, so then I do take another shot, and oh man, that was terrible. Like, oh, I felt really bad after that, but still a good game nevertheless. Got a first class, marked it, and got a high caliber, almost 5,000 damage. If I would have killed that Rheinmetall, I probably would have gotten 5K. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching. Let me know what you guys think of these marks and stuff. And I really think that they should add these in Blitz. I think it would be interesting to see. You know, it definitely would be interesting, I think, if they did add these in Blitz. But Thank you once again, Drafts, for helping me. Shout out to him. I will leave a link in the description to his YouTube channel. That way you can go and support him, because he is the reason that these replays exist. And I can't stop thanking him enough. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you really enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.